Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're doing something really empowering. We're taking absolute control of your Mac's privacy and your personal data. We're going to take a close look at a totally essential digital security feature that, honestly, you might be ignoring right now, and that's safely sharing your Mac by adding dedicated user accounts. Let's just be real for a second. Think about who else actually uses your Mac. Take a moment and picture the roommates, maybe the kids who just want to play a quick game, or the coworkers who occasionally need to borrow your physical device to check an email. Handing over your open, unlocked laptop might seem totally harmless in the moment, but you know what? It opens the door to a massive host of privacy headaches. All right, here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. Why share accounts safely? 2. Choosing the right account. 3. Adding the new user. And 4. The final recommendation. Okay, section 1. Why do we even need to share accounts safely? Think of a separate account like your own personal vault. When you set one up, crucial data is kept completely separate. Your files, your Safari history, your saved passwords, photos, your desktop and documents, even your specific app settings. So the really crucial point here is, if you don't use separate accounts, all of this gets dangerously mixed up. Because let's face it, absolutely no one wants their private Safari search history popping up for a coworker or their securely saved banking passwords exposed to a guest. Moving right along to section 2. Choosing the right account. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the drop-down menu. Before we even type a name for our new user, macOS presents us with 4 very distinct choices for the account type. And choosing the right one here is literally the absolute foundation of your device's security. The first, and honestly the most common choice, is the standard account. Apple actually defines this as the absolute best option for most people. A standard user can use apps, they can save their own files, and they can tweak their own settings. But the magic here is that they have their own completely isolated desktop, documents, photos, and browser history. Basically, they get a full Mac experience without ever messing up your personal setup. Next up is the administrator account. And I cannot emphasize this enough. This is only for someone you fully, completely trust. Administrator access allows a user to install new apps, change deep system settings, add or remove other users, and ultimately affect the entire Mac. In fact, Apple specifically warns users to never share administrator names and passwords. Handing this over is basically handing over the keys to the entire machine. Then we've got sharing only and guest user. Sharing only is strictly for someone who needs remote access to shared files, but they don't actually need to physically log in at the Mac itself. It's completely remote. On the flip side, the guest user account is just temporary. It lets someone sit down and use the Mac right then and there without creating a permanent personal account that's just going to clutter up your hard drive later. All right, section 3, actually adding the new user. Let's dive into the how with phase 1 of our setup. It's pretty straightforward. First, you'll click the Apple menu up in the top left corner. Second, open System Settings. Third, you'll scroll down and click Users and Groups. Fourth, click Add User. And fifth, you might be asked to enter your Mac admin password. You absolutely need your own administrator password to unlock these settings because Apple strictly requires you to be an admin to add or manage any users. Take a quick look at exactly where Users and Groups lives in the newer macOS system sidebar. It's marked clearly with this little icon of 2 people. Finding this right away ensures you don't get lost clicking around the menu system. Once you're inside that menu, just click the Add User button. Again, just a reminder, Apple keeps this gate kept. You must have those administrator privileges to even click this button and proceed. And that brings us to phase 2, the final creation steps. Step 6, choose that account type, which, as we discussed, is usually going to be standard. Step 7, type the person's full name. Step 8, carefully check the account name. Step 9, create a solid password and a highly recommended password hint. And finally, step 10, click Create User to lock the new profile into the Mac. After that, you just restart or log out, and boom, that new person will instantly appear right on your Mac login screen. Oh, and before you finalize the account, you can add a really fun personal touch. You can use the camera drop-down menu to take a quick, real-time photo with the Mac's built-in camera to serve as the new user's profile icon. It adds a great element of customization right from the start. Wait, actually, scratch that. Before we completely finish the setup, we need to stop and urgently highlight a critical trapdoor at step 8. When you input the account name, which is completely different from the full name, by the way, it becomes the short name for the user's underlying home folder. So it dictates the actual file path, like /users/John. Apple specifically notes that this short account name should be chosen very, very carefully because it absolutely cannot be changed later from this setup window once the account is created. It is set in stone. And that brings us to Section 4, the final recommendation. If you remember one thing from this explainer, make it Apple's ultimate best practice for digital security on shared devices. For family, friends, students, or coworkers, choose Standard. Adding a separate Standard account is profoundly safer than letting someone use your main profile. It gives them the freedom they need to work or play while keeping an absolute ironclad wall around your personal data. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on. Does your guest truly need administrator control? Honestly, the answer is almost always no. So I want to challenge your daily habits right now. No more just handing over your unlocked laptop. Take the few minutes we just outlined to create a Standard account and lock down your personal data today. Thanks so much for joining me in this explainer, and as always, keep learning.